like the Reds, talking Reds, Fridays talking Reds with me, Gareth Roberts, and I've got David John Jaggs with me from the Ragamuffins. They do songs about all kinds, but Liverpool FC as well. Loads of boss stories Dave's got about all that, and we're going to do a big reveal. He's responsible for something that's been going viral this week. Bit of terrace culture, bit of singing, bit of normality. I'm made up that we've got him on. But before all that, we've got to talk about the madness, Dave. How are you feeling today, Friday, about the madness? You know, it's settled back down again a little bit. You know, when you're sitting and reflecting on what we've gone through this week, what are your thoughts currently?
Yeah, you're kind of thinking you're hoping to get excited about a match again over the weekend, kind of looking at who we're playing, everything like that, but you still can't. You're still kind of having a cheeky glance over like the fallout from it all. Like who was responsible, who's going to make amends, what's going to happen next. I mean, you're just saying then about Perez being mooted as like the chairman, and it's
apparently Perez was the chairman, wasn't he? But apparently they were trying to give it to John Henry, and according to the New York Times, he didn't want it. But there was reservations that Perez wasn't the greatest person because people wouldn't be convinced by him.
No,
I think you were right with them reservations,
yeah,
boys.
I mean, obviously he's so competent in his press conferences, isn't he? You know, I mean,
absolutely
who'd have
wild.
thought?
Honestly, it's like some of the stuff he's come out with since, as well as during. You're just like the way it's still happening. Lads, everyone's pulled out. You know what I mean? It's still happening. Yeah. No, you know, it's like it's like something out of Monty Python. It's only a flesh wound.
He's denying that the parrot's actually dead. I mean, yeah, it's been cremated, mate. It's all over.
Yeah, but it is mad what's gone on, isn't it? I mean, there's no two ways about it. People are still angry. There are still banners outside Anfield. There's a new one actually today, which says something along the lines of, "Thanks for the apology, John, but we won't forget."
No.
And I think that's the problem, isn't it? Like, you know, what happened? Everyone's saying there are 1,000,001 pieces in the media now. What happens now? Yeah. The reason there are 1,000,001 pieces is no one knows. Do you know what I mean? There's stuff going on. The government have announced this football reform paper, basically. I've got to be honest with you, I don't want to be too cynical about these things, because I would like football to be reformed, but we've had this before. You know, Gordon Brown, there was a similar paper in that era. Various, you know, MPs have even come and met us at times, and you know, I've been down to Parliament over safe standing and things like that, but still nothing concrete happened. So I'm a bit worried that everyone's jumped on a bit of a gravy train about football reform, and then we don't actually get any.
Exactly. There's a lot that needs to be done, and you've got to think that some of the people who have tentacles in the corridors of power are very much against any sort of reform. I mean, you've got to think you're going to have Murdoch having a chat with Boris Johnson over everything, going, well, actually, you know, you're looking at cutting one of our revenue streams then if you do anything over TV money and making things more accessible there to more people. So it's going to be difficult to change anything with that in mind, but it's going to be a vote winner, and so it's something that they're going to be thinking about, especially when they've got elections in about a week or so.
Yeah. So I think you're right to introduce that point of cynicism there. But what I would say as well, though, is that I do also see stuff out there saying, like, you know, well, the fans haven't won anything here. I'm not really into that line, and the reason I'm not into that line is I don't believe that. Like, I think the people, the club, I'm not going to call them clubs because it's people, it's directors, it's owners, the rich fellas who come up with this idea. I think they knew that there would be a reaction, and a lot of it would be negative. I don't think they expected, like royal family, government, you know, like wall-to-wall media. I don't think they expected that, and so that's why they've rowed back. But equally,
did you see Gundogan last night having a go? Having a go at UEFA.
Yeah,
I think that's the next step. You've got to be saying about, like, look, I mean, our game at Leeds, the fact that it was on a Monday night, that's one of the problems. I mean, if that's the same next season, then you're thinking, Christ, you've got to get over to. I mean, okay, Leeds isn't the worst place to get to, but it's not the best, is it? Yeah. And on a Monday night, they're the kind of things that football fans need to address and want to address. It's not, and I mean, 80 quid tickets for Madrid. It's not.
Yeah, it's a constant piss take, and it's been a piss take for a long, long time. And I think that's what a lot of people are saying now. They're like, you know, you focused a lot on the Super League. The Super League now isn't happening, at least for now. But what about all these other things? And it's gone on for years, hasn't it? You know, you're a footy fan, I'm a footy fan. we feel like, you know, it feels constantly like we're being bent over for every pound we've got.
I think you've got to hope it's the straw that's finally broken the camel's back. I mean, there used to be that analogy about frogs, or was it lobsters, and you boil in a lobster, and like every time the ticket prices go up, every time you're having to pay another $5 for a replica shirt for your kids, every time they're bringing out a third and a fourth and a fifth kit on a season, and it's like, but because it's like an incremental increase in heat, no one notices. But all of a sudden, what this has done is sort of taking the frogs off the slow frying heat, or whack them into a frying pan rather than anything like that. And so people are going, hang on, this is taking the piss now. So hopefully.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's my thing with the saying, you know, fans have done nothing here. You know, if you look at the wins, and people might say the small wins, but things like £30 cap on away ticket prices, that wouldn't have happened without the pressure from fans. You know, there's various other things. You know, the £77 ticket walkout at Anfield, that definitely influenced the decision not to do that. The U-turn on the furlough, you know, the stuff around the trying to trademark Liverpool alive a bird, all that kind of stuff. You know, all of those mistakes that FSG have made that they then reversed. They reversed because of the reaction. Yeah. So there is a power for fans to grab hold of. And look, everyone can do something. I mean, a PR sent me something this morning saying there's been circa 81,000 tweets asking for FSG to go. Yeah. And there's even more for the Glazers, as you would imagine, because, you know, they've had 16 years, I think it is now, of that madness. A lot of people are saying, obviously, you know, they haven't done everything. You know, not everything they've done's wrong. No. There's obviously the issue as well that, you know, people saying FSG out, and then you're like, okay, well, they'll want £2 to £3 billion for the club. So
considering what they paid
who's
for
got that?
Yeah,
who's got that? And the people who have got that.
Do you want them in charge?
Do you want them
club?
in charge of your club?
Because there's no. I mean, the one thing everyone wants is the idea of like a 50+1 rule and things like that. But it's going to be difficult. I mean, you just start doing for John Henry's sake, do the math, and or do the maths, and you're kind of thinking about how much we'd need to raise as fans, and it's just, even if you had all the ex-players who might be able to drop in a bit more, it's not going to be anywhere near. So we need something, you know, there needs to be some sort of action. But I think was it Copey wrote a piece about wrote a tweet about the difficulties of even putting a fan on the board. So there's a lot of hurdles to overcome, but something's got to change. Yeah,
because what Copey, I think, was saying was that, you know, a club, if you're a club director, if you're on the board, then your role is basically to make as much money as you possibly can for that club. And some of those things, to do that, will piss everyone off, which is what's just happened. Yeah. So putting a fan there legally as a director, there's almost a conflict. But I think the middle ground is what people are saying is have a fan there to say, well, hang on, what about this? Or hang on, what about that? You know, to test the sense of what it is you're going to do. Even that, I would say, well, isn't that what they took Tony Barrett on for? And this is nothing against Tony. No. I know Tony, I work with Tony, I know how much he loves the Reds, and he would have been as gutted as anyone about all of this, I can guarantee you. What's happened is they haven't talked to him. No, or exactly. If they did talk to him, they didn't listen. Well,
exactly. You kind of look at some of the things that they have undoubtedly got right, and the things like Shevchenko Park and the fun park in Kiev. They clearly look like they've come from consulting with fans and going, you know what would be absolutely boss, having this at a cup final. Things like that, where it's clearly going to be a win, and it's not a difficult thing for them to do, like doing that kind of thing. But yeah, as everybody has been, he's obviously been kept in the dark about this.
Yeah. Well, we've talked this much and we haven't mentioned the match. Yeah. There is a match tomorrow where Liverpool are playing Newcastle at Anfield, 12:30 kick-off. An important one, obviously, to get back into this top four chase and get back up there and try and get a Champions League spot, which all of a sudden is important again. Newcastle, I'm not going to talk too much about it because we are going to go and film a video preview shortly. There's the team talk, which if you subscribe to the podcasts, that gives you the preview to it all. So there's loads of preview stuff on the Anfield Wrap anyway. And if you want to try out some of the what's the word?
Free content.
Premium content. Oh. If you want to try out some of the premium content, you can subscribe to the Anfield Wrap, you can download the app, you can get some free tokens and you can do that. But to talk about it briefly, Dave, Newcastle are just seem a team that we've just always beat. Yeah. We've always had a good time against them.
It always seems to be at Christmas. Always seems to like the Boxing Day or so. I mean even we played them, what was it, the 28th or the 30th this time. like just after Christmas. But it doesn't really matter then, does it? But normally you kind of have a Boxing Day, head down to the ground, or even head up to St James's Park on coaches and things like that, and it's great. But we always seem to beat them 3-1 as well. Seems to be so many 3-1s over the years.
Little tip there, 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1, got on that.
3-1. I mean, they've won the last 2, so that takes a little bit of a pressure off them in terms of their relegation fight. They haven't won 3 in a row since Benitez was in charge. The last time they won 3 in a row was 2018, and the last time Bruce won 3 in a row, he was manager of Wigan. I mean, it's a reminder as well about sort of, not that we've been entitled the last few days, I wouldn't say we have, but it's a reminder that, for all the shit that's gone on the last few days, and it's felt grim, it felt grim around the Leeds game. Here we are fighting for the top 4 spot, and it's been a mad season, but we can still salvage something.
Very much in it,
But Newcastle have got, Ashley as their owner, Bruce as the manager. They've been knocking around at the bottom of the league, going into the Championship, coming back up, minimal investment to sort of keep doing that, keep yo-yoing. The ground is an advert for Sports Direct. They absolutely hate going, basically. And you just think, I mean, there is a bit of a
And then you've got
careful
people
what you wish for.
You've got people like Ferdinand giving him grief on BT Sports about what's going on. It's like, come on, mate.
Well, Ferdinand give the fans grief.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Go
and buy your club. But now he's giving grief to the Glazers. Yeah. And of course, someone's tweeted him, go and buy your club.
Yeah, go and buy your club. Yeah.
So what goes around comes around. But I mean, I quite like Newcastle as a place, the people, all of that. It's a good bevy.
I used to live up
Did
there.
You?
Yeah, I was at university with Gibbo back in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely cracking night out. Yeah.
But it's a shame, and like what I was going to say is, it's a shame that they've got this owner there who makes everything a little bit grim. Anyway, as I say, proper preview stuff and all that on the Anfield Wrap. Let's talk about you, Dave, and why you're here. You will have seen, and I think, or most of you will have seen, a video kicking around on Twitter, social media, etc. last few days of a new song that started to grow legs about Ozan Kabak. It features some fellas who've definitely had a bevy.
Or 10.
Doing a bit of Cossack dancing to this new tune. And the new tune is the brainchild of Dave. So tell us about how that all come about, Dave.
Yeah, so obviously lockdown 1 last year, kind of trying to entertain me little 2-year-old girl, and putting on different videos and like trying to keep activities going around the house. And I'd learned how to play the Tetris theme because it makes it just little dances. So I had that and I was playing it and thinking, how good would this be as a chant? But don't have a player that would fit in for it. So obviously comes to deadline day this year, and obviously we're scratching around for a centre half to play for us. And then Kabak signed. I was like, yeah, I reckon that might fit. So had the song in my head, thinking of that, and then obviously, like a lot of people do kind of match day gigs on my own when we're not playing with the rest of the band up at Hotel Anfield, just along from the ground. And I kind of just obviously the first one I've done since things have been reopened was on Monday, and I thought, well, let's test the water with this. And someone just came up and went, fucking hell, that is absolutely blinding. And so the next thing I did, played it after the match, and obviously not the greatest result. We're sort of worrying about the club's future at that point. But the
boys got into it.
Exactly, boys get into it. You forget about all the shite that's going on with the club.
I love it.
Yeah, so
I love it. Well, I think we're on safe ground that we can say we can show you some of that footage of the boys enjoying that tune. So I'll show you a bit of that, and then we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, they're enjoying themselves, and it is a tune. But Dave, you've had some boss times, sort of knocking out these tunes and being a Red, haven't you? Because one of the big ones, one of the boss ones, is Liverpool win the European Cup, and the first tune that comes on in the ground after them winning it is yourself.
Yeah, we had absolutely no idea that was going to happen as well, and it's just. Obviously we did See Senor as recorded it for fans supporting food banks.
That was right,
doing all the donations for that. And I think we did BBC One during the day and all that. So we were on the BBC Breakfast. So I think I was awake for about 48 hours straight at that point.
Wow.
And so we were doing that, and we've been texted by someone from the club going, "Oh, we've added it to our Madrid playlist," and we were like, "Is that the Spotify thing or what?" No idea. And then obviously the BT Sports are on the pitch, everyone else is on the pitch showing everything going on after the game, and I'm like, "See Senor," and so it's just everywhere. It's just absolutely wild. So,
brilliant though.
Yeah, oh, mate, honestly.
What are things to tell your kids when they go up and all that as well? Yeah, superb. Well, we weren't going to get Dave in to just talk about the footy, obviously, because the Ozan Kabak thing is a reminder of the stuff that we're missing. Being in the ground, singing songs, being in the pub, singing songs, you know, all the mad stuff, all the good stuff that comes with football. There's loads of mad stuff that's gone on that's annoyed us all, and now we're all trying to be experts in football governance again. But I think we can forget all that for a minute and enjoy Dave and his band, the Ragamuffins. So this has been Talking Reds, and we'll let Dave and his band see this one out with a rendition of the Ozan Kabak song. Up the Reds.
He's Ozan, he's Ozan, he's Ozan Kabak. 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 Ozan Kabak, where he plays centre back, where he plays centre back for Liverpool. Ozan Kabak, where he plays centre back, where he plays centre back for Liverpool. Centre back where he plays centre back for Liverpool. Ozan Kabak where he plays centre back where he plays centre back for Liverpool. Ozan Kabak where he plays centre back where he plays centre back for Liverpool. Ozan